on Nightline, the virtue vigilante. He is a Christian conservative lawyer on a crusade against video games he says are evil, but that some parents intend to buy their children for Christmas. Plus, Blood Diamond. The new Leonardo DiCaprio movie is giving the multi-billion-dollar diamond business jitters. But is a girl's best friend really tainted? And we go inside the giant mines and on the front lines of the diamond trade, where hidden cameras reveal that some conflict-free diamonds could be conflicted.
From the global resources of ABC News, with Terry Moran in Washington, Martin Bashir and Cynthia McFadden in New York City, this is Nightline, December 13th, 2006.
Good evening, I'm Cynthia McFadden. With less than 2 weeks until Christmas, the hottest gifts on many kids' minds are the new game systems out this year. If you can actually find one of the things and are willing to drop hundreds of dollars for them, one question remains. How troubling are some of the games they're playing? One parent has made a career out of finding out. ABC's Bill Weir reports.
The lines began forming days before the new game systems even went on sale. For gamers, it was the most anticipated moment in years. For game makers, a taste of the billions of dollars to be made. And for one man in Florida, it was another sign that American culture is going straight to hell.
Here you're literally stomping somebody into the pavement, and you can stomp them until there's a pool of blood in the street of the person you just killed.
Request AC-130 gunship support.
In a world of make-believe battles, Jack Thompson considers himself a real-life warrior. The conservative Christian attorney says he is on a mission to protect children from evil. Evil in the form of popular games like Bully, Manhunt, and Grand Theft Auto. To him, this is not entertainment, it is a murder simulator.
You're kicking, punching, ultimately shooting, cutting the heads off of people with machetes of people you don't even know and don't have a motive to be violent against.
Though many games like this are rated mature, it is perfectly legal to sell them to kids. In fact, Thompson once videotaped his 10-year-old son buying them in an effort to sting a major retailer. His activism also includes relentless lawsuits, lobbying, and protests. And when it comes to the company behind some of the most mature titles, he is hardly coy.
I'm out to shut down Rockstar because they're run by a bunch of sociopaths, and they're a one-company crime wave.
This pits his one-man practice against some of the most powerful law firms in corporate entertainment.
Somebody call Jack Thompson.
And it makes him an object of scorn in the gaming world.
I'm on the case.
Kids who wear I Hate Jack Thompson t-shirts can trade blows with his likeness in the game Mortal Kombat.
Who uses what sort of fighting style?
It's called legalese. I kick away at people in my Brooks Brothers suit.
But this fight is just the latest in a long and controversial career.
I guess you could say I've rattled some cages, and they've rattled me. They've come after me. They've repeatedly tried to end my legal career. Some people have intentionally incited people to kill me, tried to threaten to kill me.
He began 20 years ago, waging an obscenity war against a raunchy morning DJ in Miami. Janet Reno was the district attorney then, and when she declined to prosecute the station, Thompson ran against her while publicly questioning her private life.
I came up with this clever plan of handing her a questionnaire, asking her, are you heterosexual, or are you bisexual, or are you homosexual, and so forth.
She put her arm on your shoulder and said, I'm only attracted to virile men, which is why I'm not attracted to you.
Mm-hmm.
And then you filed battery charges against her.
Well, she grabbed a hold of me and shook me. She didn't hurt me, but I was annoyed. I was angry that she dealt with it in that fashion, and that was a mistake. I shouldn't have done that. I should have, but I'm glad. I think it was reasonable to ask her the question.
His next target was the rap group 2 Live Crew and their album As Nasty As They Wanna Be. After he convinced sheriffs across Florida that the music violated obscenity laws, it touched off a national debate over freedom of speech.
It was banned in Canada, taken off store shelves just about everywhere in the U.S. So, and 2 Live Crew doesn't exist anymore.
So you think you won that one?
Well, I think we did.
But going back, I mean, centuries ago, it was the pamphleteers who were scolded for dragging down society. In the 50s, it was comic books, and in the 60s, it was the Beatles.
There's a world of difference between Love Me Tender by Elvis Presley and Me So Horny by Two Live Crew.
I seen one top four.
He's gone after the likes of Ice-T and Madonna, Howard Stern,
No.
and in the sellers of ornaments, X-rated Christmas decorations.
This is all we can show you because they're too explicit for TV.
But his crusade found new focus in 1997 when 14-year-old Michael Carneal walked into a Paducah, Kentucky high school and shot 8 students, killing 3. When Thompson learned that Carneal was a video gamer and a fan of the violent movie The Basketball Diaries, he contacted the victims' families. Together, they sued the makers of that film and the game Doom. Though the $130 million suit was dismissed, Thompson is still convinced that these images inspired 3 murders.
The world-renowned forensic pediatric psychiatrist testified at Carneal's criminal trial that but for the influence of that movie, his training literally on the game Doom, very violent first-person shooter video game, he would not have killed.
There are portions of the Old Testament that are graphic in their depictions of violence. Could that not have been an influence, or Catcher in the Rye? How is it that you can blame one piece of pop culture entertainment for the actions of a single person?
Nobody in their right mind says that a video game or a movie can turn a little angel into a demon. What I have to tell you that is very persuasive to me and to others are the brain scan studies now that are coming out of Harvard, Indiana University, Michigan State, in which they put kids in MRI tubes. They have them play video games. The video games overstimulate that midbrain, the animal part of the brain. You are learning in a virtual reality to be violent, to enjoy being violent, how to kill, and so you're given an appetite as well as scenarios in which to be violent.
How then do you account for the statistics that as the popularity of video games have gone up, violent crime has gone down?
It's not true.
According to the FBI, kids, teenagers arrested for violent crimes fell by half between 94 and 2000.
What you have are reduced reportage of violence. Schools are increasingly handling these things in-house and not calling the authorities in because they don't want to report
Really?
it to
After
the police.
Columbine, you don't think there's a sensitivity?
Well, not everything is a Columbine situation, but you have...
But the kids get turned in for bringing an aspirin to school these days.
Sometimes, but the experts I talk to indicate that in fact assaults, violent incidents in schools are up and they're being handled in-house as opposed to going to the local law enforcement officials because schools don't want to have that stigma.
If the science, as you say, is as convincing as you say, why have you had more success in court?
Well, the pioneers always take the arrows. The first time you try something, you don't always succeed.
Game industry lobbyists are quick to point out a total of 9 federal courts have rejected so-called studies that video games cause aggression. They express confidence in the current rating system, as did the parent company of Rockstar Games. People who blame art and entertainment for society's ills are always on the wrong side of history, they wrote. We're extremely proud of the diverse range of titles we create. Thompson recently challenged the industry to create a new game in which a grieving father murders a host of video game executives and their families. This is the result after an online programmer took him up on the idea and even included a Jack Thompson cameo. Thompson says he was just trying to make a satirical point, but it was lost on a prominent family group which recently cut off all association.
I am a flawed, fallen creature, but I think I'm involved in something that's righteous because I got a son, and there are people who don't even know him and don't know all the other sons that are out there, and they don't care about those kids. They want to make money off of them. I'm up against a lot of powerful people and a lot of money, and it's not a fair fight, but it makes it more interesting.
You sort of revel in it, don't you?
You know, there's the most popular, most favored story in the Bible is David and Goliath.
But you know how that story ended. He knocked him down with a slingshot and beheaded Goliath. If there was a David and Goliath video game, would you be fine with that?
I wouldn't want my son hour after hour practicing the violence. I'm a big fan, as many people are, of Winston Churchill, who told his audience, never, 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 never give in.
Bill Weir with Jack Thompson. Parents beware.